Hi, my name is Heidi Levon, and today I'll be talking about U.S. meat production and the environment. Because meat is an amazing source of protein and micronutrients like zinc, iron, and vitamin B12, it's no surprise that we are huge meat eaters here in the U.S. According to the USDA, Americans have now eaten a record amount of meat this last year, averaging 10 ounces of meat per person each day, nearly double the recommended amount of 5 to 6 ounces per day. The United States beef consumption alone is 4 times higher than the world average. With such a high demand for meat, the meat industry is forced to keep up, and this rapid production has some long-lasting effects on our environment. Factory farms in the U.S. are detrimental towards our environment because they waste and pollute our water, land, and air. To begin, America's meat industry negatively impacts our environment by wasting huge amounts of water. More water is needed to sustain livestock than it is to produce grain, fruits, or vegetables. According to the watercalculator.org, it takes more than 1,800 gallons of water to produce a single pound of beef, versus only 25 gallons to produce a pound of grain, or 108 gallons of water to produce a pound of corn. The amount of water needed to produce livestock includes water needed to grow the crops that livestock eat, water directly consumed by the livestock, and water used to cleanse and process the meat. U.S. factory farms are both wasting tons of water each year, and they are also polluting the water. Animal manure from mega farms contains antibiotics, hormones, salts, heavy metals, and other factory drugs. Factory farms have waste systems that are called manure lagoons, but they're inefficient. Much excess waste ends up in polluting surface waters and groundwaters. According to Renee Cho from the article How Hamburgers Pollute Our Water, disease-causing pathogens like E. coli and parasites are transmitted through contaminated water. Ammonia is another toxin found in the water. Meat production in the United States is also a waste of land. Producing meat requires much more land than producing grains, fruits, or vegetables. According to PETA.org, it takes almost 20 times less land to feed someone on a plant-based diet than it does to feed a meat eater. Free-range animals are not fed grains, oats, or corn. Instead, they eat natural resources around them. However, large American factory farms have to grow grain, oats, and corn because there's not enough natural resources present to feed the mass amounts of animals. In fact, it takes 16 pounds of grain to produce just 1 pound of edible animal flesh. This results in large amounts of land dedicated for the livestock's food, in addition to livestock waste areas and barns to house the animals. Meat production wastes land in many ways, but it also pollutes our air. Factory farms emit tons of greenhouse gases, or GHGs. According to the World Watch Institute, animal agriculture contributes more to GHG emissions than any other industry. A staggering 51% of total GHG emissions and equivalents come from livestock. Some examples of these harmful greenhouse gases are methane, ammonia, and hydrogen sulfide. These gases are emitted from barns, water storage structures, waste management, and the land used for growing the animals. If there's one thing you take away from this presentation, I hope you are more aware of the impact meat production has on our environment. Factory farms here in the U.S. negatively impact our water, land, and air. One solution to fix this problem could be to have a more efficient waste system for the livestock. Another solution would be to have people cutting back their meat consumption to at least the recommended amount, since we are already over-consuming. And here's my works cited, and thank you.